Okay, so I thought today I would share with you guys my planner. I'm going to do a walkthrough of my planner and talk about how I meal plan and meal prep. Right now I'm using an Erin Condren. This is the hourly version. I was using the vertical up until about mid-January, and I found an hourly pretty cheap on a buy-sell trade, so I purchased it because I've had my eye on it since she released it in November. So this is the custom cover. It's actually one that I got from my vertical, and I just switched it over. Excuse me. I have the rose gold edition. You can see my 2-year-old decorated the cover. I guess she didn't think it was pretty enough. An alcohol wipe, I'll take that off anyway. But, okay, so, like all Erin Condren planners, she has her vellum insert in the front. It's the geode pattern. And the front page, you know, where you have your name and stuff. I covered up my name and phone numbers. Then she has her quotes pages. And the yearly view of 2016 and the yearly view of 2017, or at least half of 2017, I guess. Then she has the goals pages. I do not know what I want to do with mine. In my vertical, I use them for goals, but I don't know. I never really looked back at them, so it didn't really work out. I don't know what I'm going to do with them this year. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I've got a cold. I'm still trying to get over it. So, in the front of the month, she has a notes page just like last year, which I use for daily Bible reading. January, I did daily. I tried to split it up. I didn't quite get 31 spaces, and I didn't keep up anyway. So this month I changed it, and I just wrote the ones that stuck out to me, and I can read them a lot better. They have a lot more meaning, so I like that a lot better. And then another addition that Erin Condren did in this particular planner, I'm not sure if it's in the other ones, is this little front page. I really like it. It's like a faux whiteboard, I guess. It's really nice, and I use it as a monthly overview of sorts, which actually I gathered inspiration from the Happy Planner version of that I'm about to show you. I forgive the crappy camera work. I'm on my cell phone because the battery on my other camera died. But so I kind of gathered inspiration from this page. I've always really liked this page. I kind of changed it up a bit, but this is what I liked. So I kind of wanted to do that fit to me. So I did this. I have goals for the month, birthdays, important days, a creative spot, food for thought. I track how much money I spend a month. It's pretty eye-opening for me, as well as how much time I spend on my phone. Again, very eye-opening. To track my hours on my phone, I use an app called Break Free, and it will log exactly how much time I spend on my phone, exactly what apps I'm using, and it'll give me nudges if I stay on too long. It'll even give me like scores and stuff. It's pretty funny. But it's really helpful, and it's eye-opening for sure. Here's the monthly overview, just like any other, basic standard, whatever. She's got them lined this year, which is nice. Ugh, my camera's not focusing. I'm sorry. There you go. It's not super dark, so it doesn't really interfere with a lot, which I like. So I like the lines because I can't write a straight line to save my life. So it's nice to have that. I don't know why my camera's not focusing. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll try to focus it here in a second. There we go. Okay, for now. Now onto the hourly view. The sidebar is nice. It's kind of like before, except with the little check boxes. I do miss the thankful, or the thankful thought box. That was a nice feature, and I kind of wish it was still there. But I suppose if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now. So you get what you can, I guess. So what I do with this is I split it up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, 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 for the week. And I track on the top the time on my phone per day, the money spent per day. And then on the bottom, I write down my weekly menu. And then, of course, I just schedule all of my stuff. I do daily planning. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. I don't know. I thought I would just love it and it would be planner peace, which it almost is. But I don't know. Some weeks I'm not as faithful as I should be. So some weeks it's pretty empty. Even though my weeks aren't empty. I don't know. But it is what it is, Okay, onward. In the back, she has these pages. This is one feature that I didn't like. Not that I don't like these pages, but I don't like that she took out all of the notes pages and put in these. Because I actually use the notes pages a lot, and I miss them. Well, I don't miss them, but we'll get into that in a minute. But I did miss them when I bought the planners, so. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't have appointments. Well, not that many appointments. I don't keep addresses in my planner. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. If y'all have any ideas, leave it in the comments below, because I'm all ears. So, on to the rest of it. What I did here, these were not originally in the planner. I uncoiled it and added notes pages. Some of them are from my old vertical, and then some of them are from a 7x9 notebook from Erin Condren. I did mess up the coil a little, and I wasn't happy about that. I did not realize that the rose gold color was just coated on the coil. I thought it was actually like the color of the coil, but it wasn't. So I messed up the bottom and the top a little bit, but it's still functional. It's not any harder to turn than it was. I've always had a little bit of trouble with it where they bent it, and so when I bent it back and it's still kind of wonky, it doesn't really bother me because I always had that problem. But anyway, so on the first page we have the brain dump. This is my master cleaning schedule. Of course, it never all gets done, but this is my ideal week. This is what I strive for every single week. One of these days I'll get it done. This is my fitness section. This is pounds I would like to lose, pounds I've already lost. I printed these off. I just Googled like mason jars. And then this was washi tape that I cut into strips. I cut each mason jar from washi tape because washi tape is fairly removable. So it's easy to switch them back and forth without tearing the paper. And then this is just washi tape as well. It looks like my kids decorated that as well. They didn't think it was colorful enough, I guess. I got the wellness journal in a bundle a while back. It came with this, the finance journal, a little clip-in dry erase insert, some coil clips, and a couple other things. I can't remember exactly. But, yeah, and this is my exercise plan. And then this is my finance budgeting stuff. I actually use it, so I will not be showing you the inside of that. Maybe another day. when I can cover the numbers up or something. I can show you how I budget, but today's not that day. This is where I get ideas for my silhouette. Excuse my crappy drawings. I promise they'll look better when I put them into Silhouette Studio. By the way, my dividers are just covers that I've accumulated from the various notebooks and planners and whatever, because I always buy them good to go and I get the free code, so I have multiple covers. These are sticker ideas for my silhouette. This was measurements for a table fort. That's how I drafted that. For those of you who know me, I think you've probably seen that. This is my vinyl order that I'm still waiting on, and then just blank note pages. And then here we have my master to-do list categorized by room. And again, blank pages. And back to what was originally in the planner, you have your full 2017 overview. This motivational quotes page, stickers, and the pocket. This is one of the, I can't remember what they're called, some sort of journal. I really like these ones, the graphed ones. I use them a lot to like draft patterns and stuff like that. I have a few patterns that are waiting to get onto paper. This was designing my kid's bedroom. It's almost done. It's not quite what it is in the book, but pretty close. So that's that. Let's put that back in. There we go. And then I have my perpetual calendar and the zip bag with all of the original, almost all the original goodies, I think, and some extra coil clips, some paper clips. And I usually have some alcohol wipes for my dry erase boards, but I don't right now. But that's my planner. It's a little thick today, and I'm not sure why. It's not usually that thick. It usually lays a lot flatter. But I'll have to figure out what's in there that shouldn't be. But that's that. And then I use this cover as a dashboard for sticky notes. And then this is the other little dry erase divider that I was telling you about. This I use for my menu plan. Like my pay period bi-weekly menu plan, I guess. Because I plan bi-weekly or bi-monthly because that's our pay period. And then this is my grocery list. I made it out of scrapbook paper and washi tape. The washi tape is half decorative because I like pretty stuff, and then half functional. I sectioned it by meat, produce, canned goods, beverages, miscellaneous, frozen, egg, and dairy, baking goods, spices, grains, and starches. It's not by aisle, but it works for me. It's how I've done it for a while, and it hasn't failed me yet, so that's what I do. Okay, so when I menu plan, I consider several factors. One thing I consider is obviously what we have going on. If I need to have a quick meal, I want to know. Another thing that I consider is the weather. Where we live this time of year, it rains a lot, so I don't do it as much because I kind of know it's probably going to rain today. Sometimes, though, it doesn't, not as much, so I will write down after I figure out what the weather's supposed to be like. I will write down the percentage of rain and then the high and low for the day. The reason I do this is because in the summertime, last summer, I didn't, and I ended up cooking a whole lot of oven meals in like 90-degree weather, and we didn't have air conditioning. So our house was like, it was torture, and that was the last of that. I will not do that again. Like I said, during this time of year, I'm not as careful about it because I kind of know what the weather's going to be like. But during the summertime, it is so up and down. So I really have to plan accordingly. Like, I've got to make sure it's not going to rain if I want to grill. Now, obviously, nothing is 100% because the weather's not always 100% right, but I can at least kind of know. And I want to know how warm it's supposed to be so that I know if I should run the oven. During the summertime, usually I will just stick to crock pot meals and grilling anyway, but sometimes I do like an oven cooked meal or a stovetop meal, but I don't like heating my house up, so it has to be like way cooler than 90 degrees. So I'll consider that. I also consider what's on sale, what I have on hand. You know, I shop my pantry and my fridge and freezer. I shop the sales. I look at the ads. Like I said before, I do look at what we have going on because I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to pull it off without stressing out. I don't want to have to get to dinner and be like, oh, I should have planned ahead for this because now I don't have time or I just don't feel like it because I've been running around all day. So I try to plan accordingly. And I also try to be flexible. Like whatever I put on my menu most of the time is pretty versatile. Like I could change the meat pretty easily and it wouldn't be a big deal. I could change like tacos. I could change that to like taco salad in a heartbeat and it wouldn't be a big deal. You know, stuff like that. Just small changes that aren't going to affect anything, but if we're in the mood for something else or something similar, I can easily change it. And I also try to change based on the sales because not all of the sales are listed. Like some stores, out here I haven't really found any, but some stores, like Kroger, for instance, which we don't have out here. We do have the equivalent, but it's not as good. Kroger used to have like manager meat specials where it'd be really, really cheap. And so I would change my menu plan for that. But anyway, so the way I pick my menu, I go through my tried and true recipes, you know, normal stuff that we know we like, and I'll choose a lot of those. But then I try to have at least 2 or 3 new recipes. And the way I keep track of those is with Pinterest. I have obviously a board called Menu Plan. This is the only board on my Pinterest account that is constantly rotated. Every pay period, I will change it out. So if you want to know what I'm eating this pay period, just go to my Pinterest account. You'll see. And then at the end of the pay period, I will try to cycle it out and get new recipes. That way, I don't have to search around for the recipe. I don't have to even go in the search bar. I just go straight to the menu plan board, and it's right there. Super easy. How I meal prep varies based on a few factors. What we have going on. I need to have time and energy to prep. What we have on hand, how much space we have, because if I don't have a place to store it, it does me no good. If I already have a bunch of it, it does me no good. How tight we are. If we are tighter, I usually do more because it's cheaper. That aside, there are a few things that I do prep all the time anyway. I will not buy store-bought spaghetti sauce unless I really desperately need it in a pinch, like a real pinch, like within 2 minutes. Because I have found that I can get a can of like diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, something like that, and turn it into a really good spaghetti sauce just as quick. So I think the last time I bought spaghetti sauce was, actually it was a few months ago. But we didn't like it. We did until we tried homemade, and then we were like, no, we just can't go back. And even like buying store-bought canned tomatoes isn't homemade, but it's homemade. I have canned my own tomatoes and made my sauce that way, and it was amazing. And when the tomatoes go on sale again, I will do that again. It's just right now, it's not worth the cost to me, not worth the time. And then I try not to buy pre-chopped anything, pre-chopped meat, pre-chopped vegetables, whatever, because I can chop things myself. I can tenderize meat myself. I can even grind meat myself. You know, there are some times that I don't want to. I don't do that all the time. It depends on what I have going on and how tired I am, you know, things like that. but I can if I have to, or if I don't want to pay the price. Like, if for beef, for instance, I really hate store-bought ground beef. I mean, the good stuff is good because it's not super fatty, it's pretty lean, doesn't make you feel yucky, but it's expensive. I can just as easily buy a cheap roast and take out as much fat as I think I don't want in there and grind it up myself, and it'll be just as good. If I don't grind my meat and I don't want to pay the cost of good ground beef, I will get ground turkey because it's like $2 cheaper. I can get a decent log of ground turkey for between $1.50 and $2, depending on the time of year. It's healthier, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the healthiest crayon in the box, but we definitely feel a lot better when we eat ground turkey versus ground beef, unless I grind the beef myself, and then there's not much of a difference. But I try to make my own sausage because it's usually more flavorful unless I don't get the recipe right, like the last time I made the sausage. Well, not the last time, because we haven't tried that yet. But you know what I mean. I don't always make my own sausage. Sometimes I will buy store-bought sausage. It just depends on how much I feel like doing. But I try not to. And I don't know if I said this already. I'm pretty scatterbrained today. I really hate buying like pre-chopped meat, like stew meat and stir-fry meat and stuff like that, because it really doesn't take that long to chop up. I can take a roast, I can get I can get an actual roast, I can get like chops of it and cubes of it, and then grind some if I get it at Costco. And it's cheaper that way. I usually save about $5 per type of meat that way. So that's good. I don't always do that, but most of the time I do. I don't buy pre-chopped mushrooms or black olives because I can chop those too. And if I get really lazy, I can just shove it in the food processor and it'll take like 2 seconds. I don't buy, most of the time, pre-shredded cheese because it's cheaper on the block. You get more. B, I read an article recently, and I am not a health-crazed person. I'm really not. I'm probably one of the most unhealthy people in the world. I don't know. But I read that they actually put like a wood pulp in the cheese to prevent it from sticking. I don't know how true it is, but it was enough for me to keep buying the block and shredding it. I don't always shred it all at once. But I do almost always shred it. If I get the shredded cheese, it's because I'm either way too exhausted, it was way on sale, or I just needed it like really quickly because I ran out and needed it like that night or something, and I had too much other things going on. But usually I will shred it, be it the day of, I'll shred it off the block, or I'll shred the whole block at once. It varies, but I usually shred my own cheese because it's cheaper and apparently healthier. So, and same with string cheese. I don't buy a lot of string cheese. I usually take a block of cheese and I'll chop it into little rectangles. It's not as stringy, but it's cheese. And the kids love it, and I love it, and my husband loves it, so it works. And it's cheaper. So it's just not individually wrapped. But a zippy bag, we go through it fast enough that when you put it in as a block, it's fine. So that's how I do that. As far as freezer cooking goes, I rarely do a full day of freezer cooking. It's just too much for me. I don't have the energy to waste on that. Not waste. It's not a waste. It's not a waste. It is very profitable. You save a lot of time by taking it all at once and then doing it, but I just don't have that time to take. Yeah, I just don't. What I do instead is like you saw it in my previous video where I was like grinding the sausage, I will chop up some, and occasionally I will chop up the vegetables to go with it, stick it all in a zippy bag, and add the spices to it. Sometimes I do that. Other times I will freeze it as I cook it. Like the other day we had red beans and rice, and I made triple the amount because I read the bag wrong. That's my blonde. But anyway, so I got to freeze what we didn't eat, and we actually have a whole lot of red beans and rice for like 2 meals worth because of my blonde moment. And I don't even have to cook it. Like, I could just heat it in the microwave and it would be fine because it's already cooked. So I do that. I will cook it and then refreeze it, or I will, as I'm cooking, take half of the ingredients and stick them in a bag and put it in the freezer and then cook it later. But I will not assemble like a truckload of groceries into freezer meals in one day. The only time I do that is right before I have a baby, because I want to have a whole bunch of meals on hand and I don't want to have to work for it after I have a baby. And I don't want my husband to have to work for it either. So that is the only time that I do all-out freezer cooking so far. We'll see if that changes later. But anyway, that's about it. Nothing magical, nothing too extraordinary. I don't know. But it works, and it's pretty versatile, pretty adaptable, and I like that. So I hope you got something from it. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down below. Until next time, bye guys.